What did you guys think of Jordan Poole's shot at the end of Game 1, Warriors-Lakers? I actually have some. Can I tell you my Warriors-Laker take to start this podcast today before we get to some Niners stuff?
Go ahead.
I think it's good the Lakers got Game 1 to avoid the sweep. I think the series is over. I think the Warriors are going to. I think I'm actually shocked. I'm pretty confident that the Warriors have this. I don't know if you listened to I was listening to all 82. They're like, well, you just got to go, or plus minus, just got to go small. I think you got the best that deloading has to offer.
He did look pretty good.
He looked incredible.
Yeah.
I thought Poole was back to himself.
Hit some sweet shots.
Yeah, I think the Lakers' best chance to guard is with Jared Vanderbilt on the floor, but they got to take him off to play all. They can't guard the perimeter. I think the Warriors are in really good shape for losing Game 1. And I didn't have a big problem with Poole's shot. Like, it's a wide open shot. Would I have loved for him to like crow hop dribble into one? Sure. It's a wide open shot. He just hit the game trying 3. I don't understand all the like, what the fuck is Steve Kerr talking about saying it's a good shot. I didn't have a problem with it. What'd you think?
You know, I don't pretend to be Phil Jackson now when you terms of like breaking down shots, because people shoot from the fucking logo now, especially this team. I mean, Clay takes 10 shots a game that are just like, what the hell is he doing? And he's been doing it for a decade. Steph, I don't even count, but I think you look all over the league. I saw Draymond said, like, in a perfect world, like, close a little gap, right? Close the space, take a step.
Yeah.
But he was like, he'd hit 6 3-pointers. Like, he had been on fire. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just that's 2023 NBA. I think the bigger issue for the Lakers, and listen, people think I hate the Lakers. I do. I don't personally hate LeBron, though I don't count the bubble championship.
Not same.
I'll be the first to acknowledge he's one of the great players I've ever seen in any sport. I'm 38 years old. Both of my knees are hurting. I have it on one of my to-do lists to hit up this knee guy in the area to just maybe get a couple MRI, just get them checked out. Mm-hmm. Once you get older, like, I'm sorry, what Tom was able to do, a huge part of that is Tom didn't have to move, right? Did not have to move. It's like the way Aaron has played, is he going to be able to run around for like 3 more years, or is like his game slowly going to change? Like, you can play longer. Yeah, you can play longer in 23 because health and training and rest, but our rest now is probably less about just like drinking beers for 6 months and then getting back and it's different. So you have a huge advantages. But your athleticism slips. And to me, he's a shell of himself athletically. And I was watching some of Draymond's post-game pod because no one breaks it down and gets 300,000 views before you even wake up, like Draymond after a playoff game. He's like, I don't remember ever playing LeBron where he just stands there off the ball. He wasn't taking a shot. He's like, they just played like LeBron just played like Klay Thompson, just off to the side, kind of. I mean, it was kind of why he can't move around like he used to. He's. If you told me that LeBron was in peak LeBron form with that version of AD, the Warriors would lose, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but he's fucking our age. He literally graduated high school the same year we did. We are no longer 27 years old. He clearly is not either. And I was listening to some at the gym today. Mannix was on with Simmons, and he was like, you know, one thing you noticed, because he went to some of those Laker-Grizzly games, is LeBron does look old at times. And now it goes back to back to back to back games.
Right.
If Anthony Davis every game is going to go for 35 and 25, like, they're going to have a shot, but hasn't part of Anthony Davis's thing been he's kind of up and down? Now, he was awesome. He's a fucking monster.
Yeah, first of all, he hasn't played 70 games, since 2018, probably. So he's going to.
I just think if LeBron's just kind of going to be a floater who still knows how to play and he's still going to get his numbers, but like can't really just like go Steph or AD. I don't know, man. I think they're going to lose too.
Well, and Slater and Marcus Thompson, I don't know if you heard it, but their point, one of them, they were both making the point, like, you just go small, Anthony Davis is going to have to guard that big if you take Looney off the floor, and he's not going to be able to patrol the paint the way that he was able to in Game 1 when he had, like, 8 shot deflections plus multiple blocks, or 8 alterations plus multiple blocks. So
the one thing, though, is, and this is where the NBA's kind of got weird with going really small to take bigs off, Looney does gather 25 rebounds.
Yeah, he gets all of the rebounds. I agree.
It was basically Looney and Anthony Davis combined for like 78 rebounds. So Anthony doesn't have to come off the floor. It's not ideal.
Wiggins will have to rebound some more. But the point was like with only a day off in between every game, is Anthony Davis just going to stay on the floor and play 41 minutes a game to get those numbers?
Well, I think both of them played well over 40, the two of them.
Yeah, but like this is a 7-game series, right? I know Steph's in shape.
I do think that I'm not going to call it must win, but you could go 2-0 when you were coming home. I do think it's pretty important to win. Would be Thursday night. It does sweet. Like, this is pretty cool. You know, the Kings series couldn't have been any better. It was the highest rated series, and then you get the Lakers and LeBron. And listen, LeBron even said it last night, and I agree. Like, it's just not the same at Chase, which it's a positive. Like, the money, you had to go, but it ain't Oracle. Just like I think the Golden One probably isn't peak Arco. Welcome to the Yankee Stadium, ain't, you know, this isn't 1996. Like, things change.
Yeah.
I do think one thing Laker fans, I'll give them credit, and partly the arena's so fucking massive, right? There's 27,000 people or whatever. It's kind of got the best of both worlds, like the sweet elites, but then it's so big that you can sell the $100 ticket to the guy. It's pretty lit in there. I think Game 3 in LA is gonna be nuts.
What's
and and you've been there. The lighting, how they do it, it's kind of like it's. I think it's gonna. I thought it was like 25,000. I thought it was like one of the biggest.
I have sat in the rafters for a playoff game. What was the series? They blew like a 20-point lead in Game 3, and then got swept, and it's like Kobe era Lakers.
Oh, is that when Dwight Howard took out the little guy in the Mavericks? Remember?
Yeah.
Remember they were getting killed, and Dwight Howard gave him like a forecheck.
JJ Barea.
Yeah. So but remember, it was like one of the dirtier hits, and he got kicked out of the game.
Yeah. Anyway, that's when all of Phil's kids were there wearing like the hat with 12 on it for his last. Maybe that was Phil's last series. I was there for one of those games, and truly, I needed binoculars. I was so high up in the rafters. It felt like I was at a college basketball game that was being played in a football arena.
Hadn't Kobe just torn his Achilles against the Warriors?
Was that? This says it's 19,000, which is big for basketball.
Maybe I'm hyping it up. I don't know. It feels big.
But it feels that way. No, I think you're right. It definitely feels that way. I just know this, John. I can't go from this to like Nuggets Heat. Are the Heat still in it? I can't go. I can't watch that.
Nuggets pretty good to watch. Here's my other thing on the LA crowd.
The MVP.
I do think they're kind of going to be like, you buy the ticket, like you're not coming to watch old LeBron. Steph's kind of the show, you know. You're coming to watch the game and the moment, but like Steph's the headliner. He just is.
Well, you know what they have there too? No, you're right. But you know what they also have there is like all the rich, like it's been where the rich people go since like Magic Johnson. So they are used to having to be real fans at Lakers games. You know what I mean? Like it's been the place to be seen for 50 years now. So it's like you don't get to like people know how they're supposed to act. Like you go there to cheer and root the team on.
Yeah, it's like who are those guys in the seventh in the front row? It's like, oh, that's the founder of Roman. That's the founder of Paxlovid. That's the founder of this. You're like, I don't know any of these people, right? Well, if it wasn't for E40, the Warriors have a lot of guys that have unlimited wealth that no one could point out of a lineup.
That's right.
Besides Joe, right?
And Helmuth, the poker guy.
Yeah, when he rolls in, but he's way more recognizable to the average guy our age, I think, than the 45-year-old rich tech founder.
Darnold, right? Sam Darnold, there he is.
McCaffrey.
Also at Warrior games versus Laker games, like it's so new to like you got to go check out the suites. You got to go. They're there for the basketball. Like we know that in LA, right? They've done all the other stuff. Like the Hollywood, like you are there to be seen on the court watching the game, not to make a deal in the back room because you're paying $50,000 for the spread at your private suite, which is great. It's fine. They have all that. It's great. Joe's got to make the money to pay the luxury tax. Like that's how you get a good team on the floor. I'm all for it. I'm just saying, it's new. It's new.
I'm giving Laker fans credit that their homer. I noticed in the Memphis crowd because part of it they haven't been in the playoffs in a long time. They are a legit playoff crowd, they just are.
Yeah, we're giving them. Yeah, this is pro crowd.
I think Levi's, part of it.
Oh, Andrew
anytime
Bynum,
you get a new
Andrew Bynum, not Dwight Howard.
Anytime you get a new arena, even if you do have like a historic team or a team that's won a lot, they're just a feeling out process. It took Levi's it took them almost like 8 years to come into their own.
Yeah, they had to get good, play a lot of good
Yeah.
big games.
And now it feels like, it's never going to be held to the highest of esteem of certain, of around the league, but it's a loud place, right?
Honestly, if they could just shade it a little bit, what would you really shade? You can't change the location, so that is what it is. Shade it, you kind of take away any other complaint, I think. I guess they have to upgrade some.
Only if you're on that side, because if you're not on that side, it's not too bad.
Yeah, or it's a night game. Just play prime time. Andrew Bynum is the one that got tossed for the JJ Barea.
Oh, yeah.
Felt like I spent half my childhood watching my Blazers lose to the Lakers. F that team. LOL.
Totally agree.
Thank you, Yellow Spy.
I ended up on some YouTube short of Rasheed Wallace, and it was like, maybe he was talking with the guys that up in smoke. They were all getting stoned, and he was telling this story about when he was like in like 2000 2001. The PR lady came up to him and says, "We want you to be the lead. We want you to do this PSA, and we'll play at the games, and it'll be on it'll be a commercial for local television." He's like, "What is it?" And it's like, basically it's just don't do drugs. And Rasheed's like, I'd be a raging hypocrite if I did that, given that I'm high right now and I like to smoke weed. And this is 1999. It was just funny.
God, could you imagine if we had a "Don't Do Drugs" Rasheed campaign? That'd be.
Sometimes I feel old when I see kind of that guy that's probably 5 or 6 years older than us, clear in their mid-40s, but a lot of those guys, just have the beards and they just look really gray. And it's like, God, these guys make me feel really old. Rasheed looks like he's 55.
They're like, Kevin Garnett, old head. Like, Kevin Garnett, old head? What?
Exactly. You see that rant he went on about Looney being tougher than Wiseman? He called Jokic. He called Jokic.
No. I saw some
funny.
other clip of him telling some story about guarding MJ.
He was just talking about Looney, like, Looney, Wiseman's got all these gifts. Looney's got the fucking heart and the balls. Looney can guard, Embiid, Djokovic.
He's got like a degenerative hip, right?
Clearly not anymore, though.
Looney.
Looney's like Kinlaw, but he just is actually good and can play.